And good morning, everybody. It is Graduate Bootcamp Mastermind. I have it down as number 7, but I may be wrong, as I've been told already. So we will take it from there. It's been a laugh before we got started. Yes, it has. But today, we're very happy to have a very special guest. We're bringing her back. Our very own favorite drill sergeant, Erica Udeanu, is here. And we've got some exciting news, and we'll be talking to her about some other stuff. So good morning, Erica.
Good morning, darlings. It's so nice to see your faces again. You're looking so fabulous.
Yeah, mine's looking thinner, thank God.
How many pounds have you lost now?
33.
Oh, get out of here.
Nope.
That's amazing.
Yep, it all started with the boot camp.
Wow.
And I got 7 more to go, so.
Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, my God, that's amazing, darling. And because what, you gave up sugar and you started exercising, yeah?
Yes, I exercise about as hard as I put into my business, so it's working.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah.
So we get to see a slimmer version of you in Orlando.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I got to start buying new clothes. So, Erica, what's going on in your world?
Well, it is getting colder. It is getting grayer. I had to put my beanie on the other day, making my videos. The snow is just around the corner. But we're pumped. We're pumped. We're excited. We're finishing up this newbie boot camp. We're excited to get to Orlando. We're excited to see what it's all about. We're excited to see Titan. We're excited to move into the next phase, the next boot camp with this massive momentum. You know, I was saying in the boot camp the other day that it's the perfect storm. You know, all of us have been, you know, doing our stuff, you know, creating our content. And I said this in the boot camp yesterday, we are the leaders of tomorrow. You know, when we come out of Orlando as a group, all of us, we are the forefront of this company. You know, all of us that have been, you know, in the trenches doing our stuff, you know, it's us. It's our time. It's our time.
Great. Now, I know you're ending up this other newbie boot camp. What do you have on deck for next?
Okay, so this is, and I want your feedback, guys. I want to know, like, you know, how things have been for you since the last boot camp. You know, you probably noticed I didn't stick my head into your guys' Facebook group a lot because I didn't want you to think that, oh shit, here she is, she's checking up on us. You know, she's on our track. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So I deliberately didn't go in there. I went in there yesterday because I saw a cry for help, and that made me think, okay, what's going on? Okay, so it was, as you guys know, Sandra left a message, and then Jeannie left a message that made me really tugged at my heartstrings. And again, it's this thing about not being heard and not being acknowledged. And, you know, Jeannie, if you're watching this, I think she's watching on her phone. That really tugged at my heartstrings because you guys know my story. You know, I tried to get our upline's attention for a year, and I filled out surveys, and, you know, I told them how willing I was to work, and I told them what my budget was if they wanted me to buy traffic, and 3 times I filled out one of their little surveys, and 3 times they ignored me, and I'm like, what the F do I have to do? Like, this is nuts. And I always remember, and you know, Javi was beside me, I'm like, okay, they have to answer this one, because I thought maybe I'm answering the questions wrong, like maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a trick to answering the surveys, right? What I didn't realize was that I could have said I have $1 million to spend a month on traffic or something like that. What I didn't realize was I didn't fit their profile of what they wanted to build, right? Because they were building a business that wasn't in my country. They were building something that I couldn't fit in to what they were doing. And that pissed me off. And I remember I almost said something to the effect of, you know what? We're going to be effing successful with or without you. And it was more like I'll show you. You know, I can't remember what book I was reading, but there's one of these things, you know, you're motivated. It's what motivates you. And for me, it was like, I'll show you. With or without you, I'll show you, right? And when we did, you know, we did get some results, that was when they showed up. And I'm like, too little too late, my friend, too little too late. You know, so when Jeannie left that comment, it really touched me because that was me. Reaching out like, guys, I'm in your team, like I'm all in, I'm going to events, what more do you want from me, right? So I really want to hear from you guys, like, what do you need? You know, because a lot of you, you know, you do have uplines that they're waiting for you to crack that big number before they go, hey, matey, let's do
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of like, well,
Right.
that's where I was, and I'm not, encouraging guys to be, a gangster or anything about this, but it's kind of like, well, if you have to do it on your own anyway, then what do you need them for when you're successful? Do you know what I mean? And again, I know this is a very rebellious kind of comment, and I know that, you know, if people outside of this group heard me say this, they'll go, man, that Erica's a real pain in the bum, you know, she shouldn't really be saying these things. But it made me question, well, what can we, within our community, like our little boot camp graduates, you know, we are all kind of orphans, aren't we? All of us, we're kind of orphans, you know, that we're the kind of we're the ones that, I don't know, I don't know. We didn't catch people's attention when we wanted it, right? So we had to kind of do it on our own. So I know what I want to do in the next boot camp, but I would love to hear your feedback, because I would love to work with you guys again and bring you into what we're doing in the next one, like coming out with full force from Orlando, coming out with this real big, and anyway, Alex is working on some stuff. The stuff that we want to work on, we want to really work on branding, because there's a few of you who are really starting to nail that. So we want to work on branding. We want to work on retargeting, which we've discovered is not that expensive. I always thought retargeting was like, you know, it's going to cost a lot of money, but it really, really doesn't. We want to work on, you know, for those of you guys who want to have your own podcasts, you know, if you want to go down that path, we actually have a whole module we're going to train you on as to how to do it, because a lot of people won't set up a podcast because it's really hard, you know. And yes, it is really, really hard when you have to learn all yourself, but Alex has worked it out, and so he's going to train you guys, those of you who want to have your own podcast, on how to, you know, set it up, how to, you know, get your keywords all worked out, how to, you know, hook it up on iTunes, because it makes you look really super professional. Like if you guys want to have that perception that you guys are freaking uber professional, or having something on iTunes, it looks sexy. I mean, I got impressed. I mean, admittedly, we've only done 4, because I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really know the direction I'm going with this now. And I got so excited that we had it all set up, and I'm like, I don't know what to talk about now. But so I'm going to ponder that. You know, it's kind of like with Periscope. I got all excited, and then I got some feedback that we prefer your videos, and I'm like, okay, so I need to rethink that whole thing. And it's nothing that you have to rush into, but it's really cool to have it there. And once it's set up, it's just so easy. You just, you know, tape something and upload it, and you get your groove on, and boom. But you got to really think that through. So we're going to teach you guys how to do podcasts. We're going to really get into copywriting, you know, really lift our game. On even me, myself, I, you know, had to give myself a little wake-up call. I'm like, you know, dude, you've been doing your videos the same way all the time. Maybe you should, you know, start using some hypnotic language. Maybe you should, you know, do some, you know, copywriting study and stuff like that. So we're going to bring that into the next boot camp. So the next boot camp is about taking those who want to a point where you're just raising the bar. You know, it's really easy, and I'm guilty of it too. It's really easy to keep doing what you've always done because it works, right? And it's a little uncomfortable to go, now I've got to learn something new, you know. But that's what the next boot camp is about. It's about coming out of Orlando full speed ahead. Like you guys, I hope you guys are all going to come to, those of you coming to Orlando, I hope you guys are going to hang out with us, and we're going to, you know, run around some rides and have some fun, and mastermind at the same time on that Thursday. Because me personally, I don't think the best ideas come when you're sitting in a freaking classroom bored out of your brain thinking, my God, Disneyland's out there. You know, I think when you're having fun and you're inspired and you're running around and being all goofy, I think that's where the breakthroughs come, right? So I do encourage you guys, you know, those of you coming to Orlando, to hang out with us on that day, and just brainstorm how we can just make this launch from Orlando the best ever. You know, and that's what I see coming out of Orlando. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you need? Like, what, when you left the last boot camp, what worked, what didn't work, what would you like to have seen more of? You know, that's what I would love to know.
Well, one thing that I've been, using that's getting me results is Facebook and chatting, you know, with people that like my stuff. Because what'll happen is I post my quotes every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and they are good.
Thank you.
And your artwork is fantastic.
Thanks. And when I get people that like those or share those, I send them a quick note. You know, hey, you know, Erica, glad you liked my post today. I like finding like-minded people. You know, I'd like to know more about you. So what do you do? And you know, I start a conversation with them that way. Yeah. And I just think I still think it needs some refining, but I mean that's a whole nother way. A lot of people are talking about. I was on Paul Hutchings' last couple of hangouts, and they're very big into that. They got one guy that's gotten like 20-something new people in 20-something days, and his group.
Can you repeat that?
Scripts.
20 people in 23 days, wasn't it? It's like 20. Yeah.
From Facebook chatting.
Yes.
Yeah. So they've got all kinds of stuff that they give their group. It's not allowed by other people. I mean, they'll tell you all the other stuff they're doing, but they got a whole secret trove, him and Mike Hobbs, that they give out to everybody that joins their team that's really moving them along. Because, I mean, they get like 600 people on their hangouts.
Wow.
Which is really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the old prosperity team had that back office, and I think that when it got too big, then Mike Hobbs and Paula Hutchings wanted to do the same thing but on a smaller scale. They kind of broke away from Justin, but it's the same thing. You go. I haven't been in their back office, but it sounds like what you do is you go into. They have a back office of their team, and it's got email swipes, it's got training, and a step-by-step, which all of us are, don't hold my hand, but give me instructions on how to get there, instead of just saying you can do all these millions of things and just pick one, and it's just, I would rather have the step-by-step and just say, do this, do this, do this.
Now, that's the exciting thing. Did you guys watch that last, I think it was like a 15-minute video that Chris Jones did the other day? Did you watch that? Okay. There was one sentence in there that made me very, 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 very pumped up, and it's like where the masses can come in and succeed. Okay? Mm-hmm. So here's what that statement means. If the masses who know zero can come in and succeed with our system, then we're going to kill it. Okay, because we already know so much already. And one of the things that Chris Jones knows about the previous, iPass and stuff like that, is that it still was not simple enough. Okay, and here's the thing, and as exciting as it may be to think, oh my God, they've got some secret stuff. There are no secrets. All right, so we have to trust in the system. We have to trust that what Chris and Dave are pulling out in Orlando is going to be enough that anyone with zero skills can come in and make it work. Otherwise, what they're doing is not, it's not going to work, right? And there's no way that Chris Jones is going to pull out something that's not going to work, right? The previous iPass was awesome, and now he's just making it better. So I don't want people to think, oh my God, now I've got to be in Pipeline Prosperity if I want to know the secrets,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because we know things that they don't know.
Yep.
Right.
So I mean, everybody does their own thing, but I definitely, know Facebook is definitely, a winner in my book.
Awesome.
And
that's phenomenal.
The videos. I mean, I got a guy that's been following me now for a while. He called up yesterday. He says, "I want to work with you." So I mean, that's taking hold. So I mean, the consistency is really paying off.
Awesome. And that's from your Facebook videos that you do every day.
Yeah, and I also upload them to YouTube.
Nice. So he came from Facebook or he came from YouTube?
I'm not sure where he came from. He said YouTube, but I mean, I'm not. I haven't been doing much. That's only been the past couple of weeks I've been uploading them there. But he contacted me a while ago about it, and then yesterday he called me up all excited. So we'll see where it goes.
Nice. Yeah, make sure you know exactly where he did come from, because one of the things that you've got to do is with tracking is work out, well, what's working. Where did this guy come from? What's working?
Yeah. Yeah, because I started tracking the other day because I did a video about the inner circle, and why that's important. Because I said I'm going to reveal a secret today, and when I got into it, the secret was all about personal development and mindset. And I told them about inner circle. I put a link in to take them to the inner circle page. So I got to check to see how many clicks I got on that to see if that's working.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, and I think one thing that, you know, a lot of people are really, really wanting to see out of this, this new release is the fact that you don't need to be in special teams to make this work. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really trying to. I know that Kronstadt is really, really against the whole "my team's better than your team" thing. Like, it has to be a culture where all of EN is the
We're on
team EN.
Team EN.
Exactly.
We're not.
Exactly. Exactly. And
I was a little worried he was missing in action because it's just been Chris, and I'm like, wonder what happened to J-Cron. But I reached out to Anna because she usually knows all the insider stuff, and she said he's just in the background. That, you know, I guess they decided that it would be better to have someone who's been in the trenches before to be kind of more of the face of you know, to us, to the members, and which I thought was a smart move. But they didn't really say anything about J-Cron. They were just saying about Chris Rushlow, and so I wondered what was going on with that. But she said no, he's still in full force. He's just working from the background now instead of being up front. So, and I'm glad for that.
What do they call him? Mr. Wet Blanket, Captain Wet Blanket.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't like him to have any fun.
No. It's exciting. It's really, really exciting. I'm excited that we're hearing more from Chris Jones than we are from Dave Wood. You know, as you guys know, I love Dave Wood. I think he's an absolute amazing genius at what he does. But for professional types, you know, who come from a Sue's laughing. For professional types who come from like a professional corporate kind of background, it's awesome. It's awesome to have Chris Jones in the front.
Right.
Can I interrupt?
Please do, darling.
Just on that joke, it's like when I first joined Empower, I tried to get a really good friend of mine who's very proper British, who I'd been in another MLM gig, into Empower. David's first videos when he was like no shirt, whatever. She goes, and she's an ex-merchant banker.
Oh, a British banker.
She goes to me, darling, are you okay? You know, what is this? I would never join something that someone ran around shirtless, and she was horrified, and she really kept saying to me, she thought I lost my marbles. Yeah, there's some people that doesn't appeal to me.
My family saw some photos from San Diego, you know, when someone had a bright idea, I think whoever it was, to bring out those masks. To this day, they swear that I'm in a cult. And I'm like, wow. My family who know me and know I'm a very, very stable human being think I've been swallowed into a cult. And I'm like, this is not cool. It's not cool. Right. It's not cool. When, you know, it's okay to be a Fruit Loop and be a genius. That's fine. But not everyone is going to relate to that, you know. So to have Chris Jones's energy and his professionalism, you know, kind of more up front, right, is really, really important. It's important for all of us because I think all of us know a lot of people that got turned off when we tried to show them the video, you know, with Dave. You know, not everyone, and it's really, really funny because we all did resonate with Dave. So what was it about Dave that we all loved? For me,
we were Fruit Loops.
Yeah, we have a little bit of Fruit Loop in us. But for me, it was seeing him fulfill his dream of living on the beach. You know, and I was one of those people who saw him run into the water. It was like a 2-minute video, and I'm like, I'm sold. Whatever that guy's doing, I want to do it, right? But not everyone has that, you know, I want to run away dream. You know, not everyone has that dream. Some people just want to, you know, make an extra couple of $1,000 a month, right? They don't have that dream, right? So for us, I think we're just so lucky that Dave Sharp has been replaced by Chris Jones, and that we're heading in this direction where we are really focusing on what do the masses want to hear from us. You know, and if we're going broad-based, if we're hitting the mass market, we have to bring up something that's pretty massively appealing, right? So it's exciting. You know, it's really, really exciting.
Yeah. Erica, did you do anything different in this current boot camp that you didn't do with us?
Did I do anything different? Okay, I took some of you guys' feedback. I gave them more inner circles, so I held them more accountable to that. Did I do anything different? I don't believe I did. As for I kept it shorter. I thought 90 days was too long, so I've kept it down to 10 weeks, which I think has been a good thing. The sessions have actually been a bit longer. I've done a little bit more personal development in the, when we do the round table. Like initially I was giving everyone just like, 3-5 minutes, but some of these shares have been longer, and what I realized was that people still need their breakthroughs from sharing their stories. Okay, the training's awesome. Like training, everyone loves training, right? But that's actually not where the magic happens. The magic doesn't happen in the training. The magic happens in the sharing, because when the boot campers are sharing, something they may say triggers a breakthrough in someone else. That triggers a breakthrough somewhere else. That triggers a breakthrough. So what I've done is I've allowed the personal development, the sharing, to be much longer. So sometimes, we might do like 90 minutes of a round table before we get into the training. And I feel really, really bad, because you guys know that I'm not big on wasting people's time. But what I've realized is that the boot campers, they need to talk. They need to share their story.
It's not a waste of time. It's valuable time.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people go, look, I don't have 2 hours to sit through, yada, yada, yada. And so I say to them, well, basically it's done, so you can watch the replay and just, scoot to the end and just watch the training, right? But the breakthrough comes in that sharing. We've got one beautiful girl from Australia, and she started the boot camp. I don't think she'd mind me sharing, but she started the boot camp. She's recovering from stage 4 cancer, and she started the boot camp saying, I just want to live. Well, that set the tone for the entire boot camp, right? And 8 weeks later, she's taken off her wig, she's wearing makeup, she's laughing, she's, and it's the breakthroughs. Oh my God, it's just,
yes.
And
that's going to help her recovery too, because when you're broken, how can your body mend itself? That's why a lot of doctors will say watch comedies and laugh, and don't focus on your illness, focus on life. And so I bet that's definitely helping with her recovery.
That would be a blessing to know that. That would be a blessing.
Yeah.
And we've got this other woman, she's a grandmother, and she started out so tense and sad and so angry. You could just see it, right? And with her blog, she's been blogging about all of the pain in her life. Oh my God, you should see her now. She's just radiant. She's glowing. It's like she's yellow. It's like she's got sun coming out of every pore in her body, It's the breakthroughs. And so that's what I've done differently. I've focused more on the personal development, more on the heart-centered sharing. And the sessions are now, some of them are nearly 3 hours long, which I know is a lot. And just, the training's still there, but it's not the focus point of the boot camps. Because I realized that you can't build this business if you're holding on to stuff. You can't build this business if you're stuck. So this next boot camp, also we're going to be running through some exercises to help us get unstuck, to help us really open the doors of how fucking amazing we all are. Do you know what I mean? Because some of us, we still doubt that. We still don't believe we're amazing. We still don't believe that we are epically fabulous human beings who can change this world, one video at a time, one blog post at a time, one connection at a time. Some of us still don't believe that. So we're going to be bringing a lot of that into the next week and make it next boot camp, and make it experiential. Like get people to actually do the stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be a bit more active. The next one will be a bit more active, a bit more interactive, a bit more, yeah.
Okay, we got a message from Jeannie who's watching. She says, I think the sharing roundtable on Hangouts is really important.
Yeah, yeah. Well, wasn't Jeannie a rock star in the last boot camps? Remember? Remember Jeannie? Man, sweetheart, love you. Just seeing Jeannie blossom, Jeannie she bloomed. She bloomed. Everyone saw it. Everyone saw the bloom, and that's sexy and it's really attractive. And people watching that would want to go, how did she do that? And then Jeannie, of course, would then say, hey, join our organization and you too can bloom. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So we just we do things little by little by little by little. And I was talking on the team call the other day We are building a dynasty here. You know what? We're not here for 90 days. We're not here for 180 days. We're not here for a year. We're building a freaking dynasty. And when you think dynasty, it changes your mindset to everything that you're doing. Okay, so you don't have a good day today. You don't have a good month, whatever. In 10 years' time, look back and tell me how it all turned out. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's in showing up every single freaking day, doing what you're doing, that builds the dynasty. Because you don't know. Again, you guys have heard me say this. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who's just waiting for that right time to connect with you. You just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if we stick to our guns and we keep doing what we're doing, we put those blinders on. You know, we don't go into groups that make us feel like shit. We don't go into groups that, you know, make us lose our focus. We don't go to places where we hear stuff we don't want to hear, right? We stay laser focused. We stay laser focused on what we're doing, and we think long term. You know, I have a vision. I see 100 diamonds in our tilt organization. And you guys are tilters, you know, whether you're, you know, sponsored by me or not. You guys are tilters. You are, right? I see 100 diamonds in our tilt organization. I do. I see it. You know, but it's just a matter of just doing the bloody basics. And I refuse to believe that this business has to be complicated to work. I refuse. Which is why, you know, I really have resisted learning complicated stuff. Because my idea is, if I have to learn complicated stuff to do this, then this will not work for the masses. It won't.
Right.
So I stick with my blogging and I stick with my videos and I keep it as simple as I can. Retargeting is probably the most complicated thing we've ever decided to learn.
Yeah.
But it has to be easy, my darlings. It has to be simple.
Right.
Because, you know, and I think, what's my Portuguese guy's name that I love so much? Silvio. He said it best. You have to present this business in such a way that that single mom with 2 kids sitting at her kitchen table can watch you and go, I can do that. And that's always stuck in my mind, you know. And I'm sorry, we've got a lot of leaders out there, and God bless them, I love them to death, but they do some complicated stuff. I can't handle it. I can't. And I'm pretty intelligent, right? And I'm kind of like, well, you got to talk to the dummies, okay? I'm one of the dummies, right? And if I can't understand you, I'm going to withdraw because you don't speak my language, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, dummies are attracted to me. Please don't. That's what I'm saying. But I can't do that stuff, right? But if this is going to work for the masses, it has to work at a simplified level. It has to.
Can I say something?
Yes, my darling,
Yes.
please do.
Can I talk?
Yes,
Yeah,
my darling, please do.
Yeah, sure, thanks. Okay, because a lot of what you're saying, I just want to pick up on and tell you what I've been doing and feedback. Okay, so first of all, at the end of the boot camp, because we'd all got comfortable on video, blah, 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 I just picked up on Ken Pickard that put a thing on that he was joining a Periscope group. And I thought it was his Periscope group. And I thought, I can do Periscope, I'm sure I love it. It's easy to, like, simple, you know, turn on a camera, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it turned out it was LT, Lawrence Sam's group. And so Ken said, it's okay, I'll sneak you in to the group. And so join me in the group. Within 2 seconds, Lawrence just realized, no, she's not on my team. And Lawrence, because of what you picked up on earlier, Erica, like leaders, you can't take people from blah, blah, blah. So Lawrence interviews me to see if you keep me. Anyway, the only people actually that can get in there now as orphans are real orphans. Unfortunately, I'm a real orphan. Like some of you have got up lines that, you know, but I joined with someone in England. I was in Australia when everything first fell over at the beginning. She left. I got passed up to a dude who was there temporarily, you know. The only thing I've ever heard from him about was selling me his next gig. And straight up, it's David. And so David, yeah, can't give anyone any time, obviously. So, you know, Lawrence is okay with people like that, but you've got to do work so you get, you know, a job to do. Anyway, Lawrence and I can work that. That's not the point. I'm going to start with what I want to say. Where do I start? There's so much happening. Instagram. There's an Instagram class going, so we're running Instagram, and we're all in teams. And I put my hand up to be a leader, which is hilarious because I get Zen in my team, who knows 1,000 times more than me. But Zen's in the Philippines at the moment with shitty internet, so she messages me all the time saying, "Can you send me today's assignment? Then I got you only if you tell me what to do with." And it's like it's quite fun. But my point is, I've got some really newbies that have joined to do this Instagram class. And this is, like they do training on. They had to have Unstoppable Dream or be willing to do it. Okay, so Unstoppable Dream. Watch the Instagram training on that and watch the Capture Page training. But there's a newbie in there. She's a hairdresser. She's got a hairdressing salon. She wants to learn how to do Instagram for her whatever. And seriously, an Unstoppable Dream, I don't know who else has got it. It's good Capture Page, but it's not like Alex's training. And I swear to this day I could not do a Capture Page if I hadn't watched Alex's training when I first was interviewed and stopped it 5,000 times. Because at that stage I was still caught up in my head. I'm going to take the other baby boomer. I can't do this, all that crap. And so I'd stop it and watch it again and stop it and watch it again. I've got that there. Even now when I do a Capture Page, I watch little bits. And without Alex, God bless him, here, I'm drinking red wine. I look at his hamburgers in the morning, so cheers, Alex. But seriously, he is the best trainer. So I'm watching all this shit. And that's all I wanted to say was, please go and watch Alex's training. I couldn't, of course. But I've been going to message you guys, Eric, and I knew you were busy, and I just got caught up because I put my hand up for stuff. Your training, because no one in there, and there's a lot of top earners, as you know, in that group, and they're gorgeous people, can simplify it enough for people.
Yeah.
Like, just the little things, like when you watch Alex goes, click this, like it's really simple. And it's not that these people, like this lady that's a hairdresser, owns hairdressing salon, she's on it, but she didn't even know what a freaking Capture Page was. She doesn't know any of this stuff. So I guess that's all I'm talking like this for, is because whilst you're doing mindset stuff, don't ever, ever, ever undervalue the amazing, simple training you have.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Like, honestly, Erica, like no one else even can train. I've seen Brian Couch is running the course, and he's doing really well on Instagram, like really, really well, but he still can't, like, he can't dumb it down enough. And again, you said don't. It's not that they're dumb. It's not.
Right.
It's not
Simplify.
I didn't know what a freaking browser was,
I think I was 2 years into this business and people are still talking about browsers, and I'm like, what is a freaking browser? Like, I don't understand what they're talking about.
Yeah. So that, I just wanted to give you that feedback, because I don't know within that, like, I get you shifting to mindset, but you're amazingly how to do from a very beginning point of view is, and it's amazing. Even with this woman, I could help her more than anyone else could, because I'd learned from Alex. I'd learned how to make it more simple for her, because I just felt for this woman so much. And she was putting in hours and hours and hours and hours to try and figure it out. So
I appreciate that feedback.
By the way, your sponsors, Erica, talk about you as the shining star, even though you told the story at the beginning. Now you're the shining star
of what?
And I've got to tell you a funny story. When they're also running Kate Zapanta, however you say her name, Costa Rica Cat Room, she's gorgeous. I love her too. She's running Facebook. Get your Facebook with likes and stuff, and so it's a Facebook bumping thing page, and guess who I'm on a team with? We're in teams of 10. I'm on a team with Layla and Lawrence and a bunch of other people. But I tell you what's good for me, because I make sure I put really good stuff on there. So, it's a different group. It's look, Periscope, we give each other hearts, tap, 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 like we do when we share each other's blogs and videos and comments and stuff like that. It's good for me. I needed to elevate myself hugely, because I think you said to me at the end of it, I'm not doing another baby one, because I'd done several, beginners sort of stuff. So it was really good for me to move into this space, and but I also realised that the heart connection into Lawrence is a businessman. He's beautiful. He's great, and I get on quite well with him, but he runs a different, totally different business. And you're part of his business, Erica, I know that. But, it's like, it's just been really interesting for me to watch the different approaches and realize, I keep saying to Ivan, oh, another day's gone. I really wanted to give Erica and Alex as much as you, because Alex does the training, how just valuable that is. Because, I think a lot of people give up because they can't get over some of the basics.
Yes, they do.
They just can't get past it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not everyone. See, I'm not, and I think you and I are more similar, Erica. Like, Alex is more technical fact-findy. You've got to find out.
He's an engineer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that I ever went through that, And I remember, this is the other point. I've said this to Ivan. I've cost myself so much money telling myself I couldn't do that stuff. Until I got over myself. Now, part of that's mindset, but my mindset's not bad, But like I was stuck on, oh, I'm a baby boomer, like crap. I can't do that. And if I hadn't had Alex's simple training that sort of got me through it, went, yeah, I can do this. I can get it now. I don't know that I would have been able to get through it. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But, I don't know how you bring all that together, because some of it's really basic, but I'm watching even young people, younger people, way younger than me, that have never worked with computers much, still don't sort of understand. And even explaining how a capture page goes on a bridge video and blah, blah, blah. And once someone gets to Lawrence or even Toby and Layla, or, even Toby and Layla, they were right up there too, but like that sort of level, I think they forget how to talk basically.
Yes.
Like, unless to a bridge video. What the stuff is a bridge video, most people are saying.
I think a lot of people have, if they don't consciously think like Erica does, that I need to simplify this, they forget. It's the hard stuff is simple to them now, so they forget to look at it through the eyes of someone who is just starting. And so they're almost like, well, you just do this and this and this. Well, they forgot that back then, they had to go through that learning curve to get to the hard stuff is now simple. And and that's why Erica's such a blessing, is that she keeps that in the forefront of her mind, that because her niche is newbies, that that's, she's always thinking that way. Keep it simple and be thorough and make sure everybody understands, and then go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I would like to say a couple things about the boot camp in general, is that a lot of us are orphans, or just kind of, we don't have like a tight-knit group and of a team of our own or whatever, and it's the camaraderie that's almost as important as the personal development. It's like equal to personal development and the training, is that some of us have gone through some really hard times, death in the family. Jeannie had that issue with her land thing going, waffling, and we surrounded her with love, like just keep your chin up. Maybe this means that something else better is coming. Don't give up, and don't quit on your dreams just because this seems like it's falling through. And then I kept making sure that Nancy was okay, since I don't know how many people know, but Nancy's mom passed away. And so we're all rallying around Nancy and making sure that she's doing okay, and that and it's not just the loss of someone in that situation. She's got to deal with, she's got 2 jobs. She still wants to build and power a network, and she's got a husband that relies on her, and her mom lives far away from her, and she's got to get like the estate all taken care of with their brothers. So that's all that stuff is swimming in her head, and sometimes just a friend saying, are you okay? Do you need to talk to somebody that's not so, like part of the family, someone outside the family, to just vent or cry or laugh or something, you know. And this boot camp is that for us who don't have that camaraderie of a team per se. And you know, and so you know, like we said before, we're like family, you know. And I even think that, you know, we are lucky in that sense that when you're part of a big team, you may have all the fancy back office and the help and everything, but it's like going to a huge college. You get lost in the mess of everything. And with this, we're still, you know, we're like a smaller group. We're like going to a community college, you know, where everybody knows everybody and we care about each other. And so, you know, I'm very happy that you're going on to the next boot camp. The other thing I wanted to mention was I just posted a video yesterday about a podcast I watched. I don't know if you saw it, Erica, but I would listen to Amy Porterfield's podcast. And it was about, yeah, she's really good. She interviewed an author, Gretchen Rubin. She wrote the book The Happiness Project, and she was talking about accountability and setting, you know, goals, like creating something that you want to add to your life, or making sure that you're getting stuff done and procrastinating and all that kind of stuff. And she said when she was talking about accountability, because she talked about that, of course, she puts people into 4 categories, and it's on a spectrum of, there's that person who's just an independent person. They do it when they want, how they want, but they get the job done and they don't need somebody looking over their shoulder. And then there's the person on the opposite side of the spectrum, and I think I fall into that, where no matter how far along I am in the journey, I need accountability. I just need that. And she was saying, you know, too many people think of that as a weakness. Like, they push it away, like, you know, I shouldn't need accountability because I'm this far along or whatever. And that it's not, it's a strength to know that you need that and to make it a part of your action plan, to have an accountability partner, or to be in a group like this where you have accountability. And so it really shed light on the subject for me, because I was thinking that, like, you know, I've been through a 90-day boot camp. I am been in this business for too long now to need accountability, but I'm the kind of person that needs it and am motivated by it. I think part of it is that I have a need to, like, I want to do good for someone. I want to make people proud, you know, and I think that has a big part to do with needing an accountability partner, or accountability to someone. And so I thought that was very, very interesting. And then, of course, the 2 other ones were just kind of part of the spectrum, a little bit closer to one or a little bit closer to the other. And so that's why I flourish in stuff like this, you know, in smaller groups, in boot camps, in a team environment where I know someone is cheering for me and making sure I'm doing the things that I need to do to get those things done. And
I gotta be tougher on you.
Yeah, I know. He was kind of slacking, and then I started slacking, and then all of a sudden he got like, he wasn't slacking in his stuff. He was slacking in accountability for me. And
you need Hello Kitty.
Yes, I do need Hello Kitty. And then yesterday he like yelled at me. He was like, "You need to get your stuff done." I'm like, "Okay," and it kind of stopped my foot like a brat, and then did some stuff. So I'm all for this boot camp because, you know, I need to get my stuff together.
And here's the thing that, you know, you're talking about, you know, needing accountability. I've just finished reading The Secret Code of Success, and it's taken me 2 years to read that book. I don't know why I resisted so much. I just something about it just didn't resonate. But now I was ready, right? I was going through it, and I've completely lost my train of thought. I was talking about accountability. What was I going to say? Yes, you know, St. John, accountability. Oh, and it reaffirms something that I've known for a very, very long time, and that is that you will do more for other people than you will ever do for yourself. And I've heard this a lot, but when he reaffirmed it, I'm like, it is so true, you know. And it's like, and I'm glad you brought up that thing about, oh, you know, I was thinking, I didn't need to be in a boot camp because, you know, whatever, it has a meaning or whatever. But he says some of the most powerful people in the world who earn so much money all have coaches and they all have mentors, right? Just to keep them on track, you know. And it really hit me that, you know, I was even thinking, well, maybe, you know, people don't need this and yada yada, but it hit me that people really do. They need to be, some people need to be in an environment where they know that someone is watching over their shoulder, where they know that someone outside of themselves is holding them accountable for what they said they wanted. And it's not, and this is what he mentioned in the book, it's not a weakness. It's actually a strength, you know. And like Mike Hobbs, I don't know if he still has, but, you know, he was paying Ray Higdon $50,000 for coaching. And I was listening to a Periscope of Ray Higdon's, and he said, let me tell you something when it comes to coaching. I have clients I charge $50,000. Every single one of them always renews. And I'm like, oh, what? And all of a sudden, you know, I felt pretty good about the boot camps. I'm like, okay. Because, you know, if people are prepared to pay $50,000 to be mentored and coached by Ray Higdon, then it means that it's okay. It's okay to say, yes, I need to be in an environment where I'm always being held accountable, where I'm always being asked to lift my standards. I'm being asked to show up. I'm being asked to do the stuff I need to do. And I swear to God, those who keep showing up every single day are going to be successful. It's not, you've heard me say this before, it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, right? And everyone has their breakthrough moment whenever it happens, you know? It doesn't, you know, and Ray Higdon talks, I follow Ray Higdon a lot because I like to follow people outside of our community because it keeps, you know, I have one ear in the community and one ear out of the community just to make sure I'm, you know, on the right path all the time. And he says this all the time. He goes, I would rather, how can I phrase this? Because I don't know his exact words, but it's kind of like tortoise and the hare thing. He goes, I would rather have my tortoises do their thing and one day break out and be the story I talk about than the hare that comes in and just tears shit up, right? Because he goes, not everyone can just come in and tear shit up. They just can't, right? But those tortoises who just put one foot in front of the other every single day. I love my tortoises. And I'm like, Ray Higdon loves his tortoises. I'm like, I love that because it's just proof that this works. And I was listening to a podcast with, a Periscope with Eric Worre the other day. And he was, no, I beg your pardon, it was a video he did, and he was talking about, I don't know if you guys saw it, you know, slapping network marketers in the face or something. Did you guys catch that one? And he was like, Eric Worre.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I'm still going to watch.
Yeah, I might even post it on my wall. It was just really, really brilliant. And he was talking about the fact that, you know, do you guys realize that in a real business, you are not even expected to break even until your third year? And he goes, you are working 60 to 80 hours a week. You are working 6 to 7 days a week sometimes. Your life is not your own. And you are expected to break even in the third year? And he goes, and yet network marketers, and of course he's talking about network marketers, but I translate it to internet marketers as well because it's the same concept, right? He goes, and yet you network marketers, you come in here, and he was like, he was talking about, you know, people, professionals like surgeons and stuff like that. 18,000 hours they apply to their craft. 18,000 hours before they get to hold a scalpel and open somebody up. But you network marketers come in here, and if you don't make any money in the first 90 days, you blame the system, you blame the business, you blame the industry. Did you give it 18 hours? Did you even give it 18 hours in those first 90 days? Some of you didn't even give it 18 minutes, and I'm like, ow! Oh, he just
he did.
But he was keeping it real. And he goes,
right?
You're just lazy. You know, you just come in here and you just think, you know, you can just make 2 phone calls. And then he talked about his brother who was selling photocopiers or something. He goes, he makes 200 calls in a day. And if he closes 2 of them, he's happy, right? Some of you guys, you won't even call 20 people in a week. You know, and I'm like, thank God we don't have to call people.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank God we can just put that content out there, right? And just let the content do the work, you know. We have it easy as internet marketers. We do have it easy. We really do compared to network marketers. I just, I tried that thing for like 5 minutes and it was hard. It was hard. It was really hard. So yeah, I got out of it. But the principles are the same. It's like tortoises are beautiful. And we've got, I put something on Facebook the other day that, there's no easy button, but there's no hard button either. We all have the blueprint. We all have the information at our fingertips. And again, it's not a question of if we're going to be successful. It's just a question of when, right? This stuff works, and it works for everyone who just stays in the game, right? Yeah. So it's not. It doesn't matter. I know it matters when, and I know, it's so easy to just think, when's this going to blow up, and that energy doesn't really give us the results we want. It's kind of like when we relax into it and just know it's going to work, and we start creating content from that place of knowing. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to work because Erica said so, because Ray Higdon said so, because Eric Worley said so. It's going to work. And you just come from that place, and you take all the pressure off yourself, and you're just like, hey, I know my peeps are going to turn up. I know. Like Jeannie, she's already building a Facebook group. She knows her peeps are going to turn up. And that's what Alex and I did in the beginning. When we stopped stressing because it wasn't working. And you guys know the story. It was May, and we'd kind of separated for a bit, and I was, like you're talking about, I was so alone. I had no team. My upline wouldn't talk to me. No one would talk to me, and I'm like, I can't be the only person on the planet trying to build this business alone. Like, come on. So I, made that Facebook group, Team Alex and Erica, and I included people in there who were already in the business. Like, I had no team. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, but if I build it, they will come. If I build it, they will come. And I had to relax into it, and then of course went to that event, and then got excited. My energy was high. My husband came home, and that's when everything changed. But it was just building from that place of knowing. Once I got to Atlanta, I'm sorry I'm off on a tangent here, but once I got to Atlanta and I saw these people on stage, I just knew. I knew it worked. I didn't know when. I just knew. And when you come from that sense of knowing, that's sexy and it's attractive and it's a beautiful energy.
Do you have a suggestion, because I know there's a few of us in the group that are kind of going through the same thing where we've been in it a while, we know some stuff, not getting sales, but we doing our thing, but the money's either running out or ran out. So there's that desperation of, oh my God, and for some people that works. Like, we hear these stories on stage where, I had to get into my kids' piggy bank to buy, meat and bread for our family for that week, and then all of a sudden the next month they made, $56,000 or something. But a lot of us fall into that desperation and are trying to get. We don't want it to show, through our product, through our content, and we don't want it to affect our mindset. Okay. So I'm kind of asking advice on, how do we get pushed through this?
Okay, so the first question I would have to ask is, whoever we're referring to, is, can we afford the basics? Okay, can we trim all of the fat away that we don't need? And we actually had to go through this process ourselves. At one point we had to trim away all the freaking fat, and we got down to the basics. We got down to our blog, we got down to our inner circles, and I was basically saying, I cannot let these go. Okay? So the question is, can we look at our business and work out what fat we can trim away? Okay, the beautiful thing is, as you guys know, once we integrate iPass into Empower, there's going to be some money freed up straight away. We got rid of a lot of stuff. I had to get rid of TriPro. I had to get rid of OnlyWire. I had to get rid of stuff. I had to, and this is why you guys have probably noticed I've gone back to the absolute freaking basics, because I had to think, and this is my thing, darlings. Again, with all consciousness, if I cannot sell this to people who are on a limited budget with limited technical skills, if I cannot sell this to them in full consciousness believing it can work, I can't do this business, right? So we stripped away everything. We don't have TriPro now. We don't have OnlyWire. We don't really have anything except our monthly commitments to Aweber, GetResponse, which, brand new people won't need those expenses anymore because that's all going to be in-house. We've got lead pages, which we can't let go of now because we've got so many funnels attached to it. But we got rid of all of the surplus. So we got rid of all of the stuff that we didn't need. So the question becomes, how much fat can you trim away from your expenses for your business? And the minimum has to be the blog and the inner circles. It has to be that. You know, if you guys are on Instagram, you know, if you're using tools that really are not getting you results, I would say trim that away. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say plug back into your inner circles, because I know we all like to pretend we're doing the 8 core commitments. I know we like to pretend we're doing an inner circle every day, but I would say if you're paying for your inner circle, make it work for you. You know, plug back into that, because I promise you there's stuff in there that, you know, sometimes I would be, you know, out and about and I'd go, bam, oh, I get it. You know, I'd go home fired up, right? So use those inner circles, because I know we pretend we're doing them, but we're not. I know we pretend we are, but we're not, right? And when you get into an inner circle and it pumps you up, and you get back home, you know, wherever it is that you will listen to your inner circle, because I either do it when I'm, you know, working in the kitchen, or I'm, you know, walking or something like that. I come home with a different energy, and that different energy creates the result. That different energy comes out of my videos. That different energy. I'm trying to think back when we were in New Zealand, because I'd normally take my inner circles on the beach. Yeah, I would just come home fired up. You know, and when you come home fired up, you can't be depressed, you can't be desperate, you can't be anything less than your best.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice, my darlings, because, and here's the other thing, you know, we can't let go of the inner circles and then hope that, you know, when we sign up people, they're going to get the inner circles if we don't have them. You know, it's like we can't expect other people to do what we're not prepared to do. And the bare minimum, the absolute bare minimum, is your blog, which none of us can let go, and your inner circles. You know, so I know it's hard, I know, but you just gotta dig in there and just hang on. You know, but those inner circles, they must be part of your daily action plan. They must. It's non-negotiable. If you're in that still that newbie phase of breaking out, they're absolutely essential, because there are golden nuggets in every single one of them. Every single one of them. And you know what I'd recommend? Go back to the beginning. Go back. This is what I did. Oh, I just remember now. Go back to the beginning. Go back to day freaking 1 of those inner circles and just go through the entire. I've been through the entire collection 3 times now. Go through the entire collection from day 1. And I promise you, if you go through those inner circles from 2012, oh my God, you'll be on fire. Woo! Yeah. I'm just saying. They're electric. That was when Dave Ward and Dave Sharp were at their absolute best. That stuff was pure gold. It's pure gold. It's like watching Anthony Robbins, you know, 20 years ago when he was so on fire, you know, like bam. You know, that's what you need. You know, the latest stuff. Look, I'm not you know, bagging it or anything. There's great stuff in there, but there is nothing like the energy that Dave and Dave brought when they were launching this company, when they had everything invested. When there's nothing like it, you know, because a lot of those inner circles were done before Atlanta. These boys were on fire, you know, on fire. Oh my God, they were just killing it every single Monday night, you know. So that's what I would recommend. Jump back, go right back to 2012, and get fired up.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Erica, I got one other thing I'd like to bring up before we close this out today.
Yes, please do.
How do you help with retention? I mean, the one thing I've noticed is since Vegas, we've had a huge drop off of people that were there, that were part of the group, and how do you keep people involved?
He means in the boot camp.
Well, I mean overall too, even in your group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Retention's really hard when people are going through stuff and they choose to withdraw rather than engage. And what I would do is, and here's the thing, you can't make people do something they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. But what I do a lot is, if I notice that someone hasn't been around for a while, I'll just reach out and I'll shoot them a PM and I'll just say, hey, I notice you haven't been around for a while. How's things? Is everything okay? And a lot of people are really, really private and they don't want to share what's really going on. But when they find out that you do care, you did take 5 minutes out of your day to just go, hey, what's up? What's happening? But a lot of people are private and sometimes they just don't want to show up for a while, and you can't make people want to show up, and it's heartbreaking because you want so badly for them to get results, right? And you know that showing up is the only way to do that, but just can't make people. You know,
Yeah.
it has to come from within. You know, and it's hard. You know, when as a team leader as well, because you see people just, you know, that they come in real gung ho, and then something doesn't happen as fast as they wanted to, and so they're just like, oh man, you know, it's too hard. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you're definitely right about reaching out. I mean, I've done that a lot with people that, you know, I got to know and stuff, and, you know, it's been positive, you know, so it's been good.
Yeah, yeah. I think, you know what I think this industry really needs? It needs a freaking reality check. Like, it needs a reality check. You know, people need to be told that they need to set realistic goals, whatever they are. You know, not everyone is going to be an AK junior. Not everyone is going to be the Portuguese team. You know, that there's a backstory behind all of these people, and I think, you know, there really needs to be a reset button on the goals that we set. You know, and what am I trying to say? If people came in with more realistic expectations, then I think that we would have bigger retention. Do you know what I mean?
But there again, you got to watch out for how it's brought up to them.
Andrew, do you want me to go ahead and make your breakfast?
Sorry, I'm gonna mute.
Is it your family? Breakfast is needing to be served somewhere.
Yes, my 12-year-old is needing breakfast.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. So yeah.
It's not me.
But here's the thing: when I do new member coaching calls, the first thing I do is set realistic expectations with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I do is I tell them, you're going to have to work hard if those are the goals you want. And then I tell them, and this is something I've just started doing the last, where are we, October? Maybe all of this year I've been doing this. And I explain exactly how much work needs to be done. And then I'll say, and I'm only prepared to work with you if you're prepared to work. This won't work if you won't work. And, you know, I would rather be really, really upfront and tell people they're going to have to work hard and they're going to have to do this, 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 and this, than see them come in and 90 days later they, you know, basically go, you know, screw you. You know, I'd rather they don't even waste their time. You know, so my new member coaching calls are very different to how they used to be. You know, like 3 years ago, I never used to talk about the work. I'm just like, hey, so excited to have you here. Hey, come in, let's start blogging. You know, but now I find that when I have that speech with people, they stick around much longer because they've already been told, you're going to have to work hard. You know, that one sentence gets rid of a lot of flakes.
Yeah.
You know, it gets rid of a lot of flakes. And I would rather, and I said this we had a new member the other day. He's really shy. He doesn't want to even get into the Facebook group. He's really cool. I said to him, I would rather sign up one awesomely cool person a month who wants to work hard than 100 people who are going to quit in 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, takes the work pressure off me. I only have to work with one person who's just going to just kill it. You know, like Jaime, you know, in the first 3 months, man, there was not one morning where I didn't spend probably an hour working with him and answering all his questions, right? But I could see he was hungry. Like, he was so hungry, you know? I would rather work with one Jaime a month than 100 $25 tire kickers a month. Do you know what I mean? And if you guys look through the leaderboards, you'll remember there's not so much now, but back in the day, you would have people hitting the sign-up leaderboards all the time. Sign up. But they never hit the income leaderboards. Why was that?
Yeah.
Because I believe that, you know, how can I say it? Hey, and it also takes a lot less effort to sign up one person a month than it does to sign up 100.
Yeah.
Right. And you're starting over every month or every 9 months, 90 days or whatever. Who wants to start over all the time?
Yeah.
And it's exhausting, and it's heartbreaking, and it's soul destroying, and you know what? Just let me work with the people who want to work. You know, and that's why I love these boot camps. I love these boot camps because the people who show up, they want to work. You know, and I say this to these guys, you know, and I say this to you guys as well. It's just such a privilege to work with people who want to learn, who want to do stuff, who just are passionate about the industry. It's just such a pleasure rather than, come on, guys, come on, you know.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's
I can
exhausting.
do it.
Yeah, it's exhausting. Whereas to work with you guys, you know, you go-getters who just yeah, you're up at 5 in the morning, some are up at 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I love working with those people, right? But the people who are like, oh, yeah, I might show up today. So when I use that voice, I'll never forget. Sorry, I'm rambling for everyone on Facebook land and on the replay. I do apologize, but it's a really, really funny story, and I'll never forget it. I went home to New Zealand. It's one of the reasons why I'm so glad I don't live at home anymore. And anyway, I went to see an old friend of mine who I've known forever, right? And I hadn't seen her for like 2 years or something. Anyway, it was a long time. And I was already, because it was with a sister, and I was already in the home, and she walked in, she was coming over for dinner, and she walked in, I went, hey, how are you? And she goes, oh, I'm all right.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God. No, I'm all right. I'm like, oh my God, that's just horrible. Like, what a horrible, horrible response, And there are some people who are just like, and they just don't want to move, So I would rather, and this is my whole point, about, sign up and stuff like that. I would rather sign up a handful of people a month who just really want to make something happen than a ton of people who have been, coming in with some false promise that, the heavens are going to open and gold's going to pour down on you, and, you're going to have a pot of gold under the rainbow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have no idea how we got
you don't know who's going to be your next star.
Right.
No, but if you have that,
because you build your leaders.
But if you have that conversation with them in the beginning and they have a realistic expectation of what it takes to make this business work, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ballgame, And that was a conversation I had with Jaime. I said, you're going to have to work. And he said, how hard? And I'm like, well, what do you want to make? He said, I want to make $1 million. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to work X amount, And that guy's he's just gone. He's going gangbusters, But I think it's the realistic expectations we set up in the beginning that really will build the dynasty. I personally think we have a great retention in Tilt. I really do. I think that the people in Tilt are real workers. They're committed. That they have their core desires in place. They know what they want, and they have realistic expectations. And I think I personally think our retention is awesome. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. And you may think that the people in the boot camp, they're not really showing up, but they are. They're watching, and they're just waiting to get it back into gear.
Yeah.
I've never really lost anyone. People have kind of like disappeared for a couple of months, but they always come back. Because they know that we're authentic. They know that our message will always stay the same, and they know that that the dream is possible.
Yeah.
So don't worry about retention too much. As long as you're always coming from your heart, and people know that you are coming from the right place and you have the best interests at heart, they will always stay around. Always.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate you being on today, Erica.
Well, it's a privilege to be invited.
So, we didn't really. Do you have details, like exact date when it's gonna start, or?
Darling, I do. But I'll be putting a note somewhere, everywhere, before we get to Vegas. I beg your pardon, Orlando. Where is it? October. Oh my God! I believe it's October 9.
Well, that's coming up.
Oh, I beg your pardon, darling. Sorry, November 9. November 9.
Oh, November. Okay.
I beg your pardon. I got my months wrong. November 9. So it's a Monday.
Okay.
So what that means is, like, everyone will have time to, chill out, decompress after the thing. Got a week to ramp up, and then November 9 we start. But that is tentative because I need to know the date when we get to the next event. Because these boot camps are always going to be event to event, and the reason for that is, and I've done boot camps forever. Like Sue knows this. I've done boot camps since day dot, basically, and that is to keep people engaged from event to event. Just to keep people, showing up. And it's really, really powerful. It's powerful. Otherwise, you get lost and you go sideways, and stuff doesn't happen. So so that's tentative. November 9, depending on the date of the next event.
Okay.
Super.
And how about cost?
Darling, it's going to be $197.
Okay.
It's going to be $197. Yeah. And sweeties, here's the thing: we charge $250 an hour for our personal coaching, and we invest hours and hours and hours in these
No.
boot camps. Like sometimes I sit
Totally
here,
understand
my
it.
hands are breaking, my back's breaking, my husband's watching me like, can't you just come and sit down? I'm like, no, I've still got 300 more assignments to look at, you know. And I really do pour my heart and soul into these. So much focus and time is spent on this away from our business. So I need to, you know, you guys have read The Millionaire Messenger, so you guys know that, you know, when you have value, it's okay to set a price on that, but we want it to be lower. Put it this way, we're not like some people charging $10,000 for a few hours of stuff. Do you know what I mean? We're keeping it reasonable. You know, we're keeping it low. And here's the other thing too that you know, Noah St. John talks about. It's like, you know, when you actually pay for something, you actually show up because you want to get your money's worth. You know, you actually
need some skin in the game.
Yeah, yeah. And you kind of like, hey, shit, I paid for this. I bloody better get some value out of it. Do you know what I mean? And you do more. You know, you really do more. It's like people, they want products for free. Well, if you don't pay for it, then you don't value it, right? It's kind of like,
I don't know, that first boot camp was free, and we were, at least I know I showed up every time, so I think Linda, you know.
I know, my darling. I know. But you know, the thing was, and with that boot camp, you know, as Alex has said, you know, like, Erica, your focus is not on the business, and I'm like, I know. But here's the flip side of that is I get so much reward out of doing the coaching and the mentoring. Like, this lights me on fire. I love it. I love it so much, you know. So it's one of those things. If my focus is being taken away from the business, well, you know, we're still business people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, those who see the value, you know, I think it works out to like $65 a month or something. But again, it's still cheaper than, you know, like a 1 hour phone call with us. And we want to keep the prices down so it is affordable, you know. But I know that there are people out there who are spending like $10,000 on a coaching program. And I'm like, wow, that's, you know, I know people who are spending $5,000 on a mastermind for a weekend with 2 kids who don't have any results, right? So, you know, it's like, yeah, that stays in-house, of course, my darlings.
Yes.
Of course.
But darlings, have you guys all read The Millionaire Messenger? Have you all read that?
Not yet.
Ma'am. Okay. You got to read that, because when you read, see, I was uncomfortable putting a price on the last boot camp. I was really uncomfortable. But then I read that book, and I'm like, when you read that book, you will understand that it's okay to charge for your time, because you are experts. Every single one of you is an expert. So you will feel comfortable creating products and putting a smack bang price on it, because you have value. You have extraordinary value. And that was something that was really hard for me to overcome. I felt like, oh my God. But then I thought, well, we're in business, you know, and we do have value, and we're helping people. And, you know, when you see people have a breakthrough, you realize that the price is irrelevant. When you see people change their entire lives because someone has cared enough to get into their lives and point stuff out, you realize that, you know, $197, it's nothing. It's nothing. Nothing compared to the value of having that breakthrough where you realize, man, I'm important. I can do this. I have a message. I mean something. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah, get in now while it's $197. Might go up to $4,997. I'm kidding. But no, I think we're always going to keep it nice and low, because we want to help, right? We don't want to make it prohibitive. We want to help. We want to help. Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Well, you were a big help today. I really appreciate you being on with us. We're coming up a quarter after the hour. So
Sorry.
I want to say thank you to Jeannie and Nancy, who were watching in. They sent some comments in. I reviewed all those. So hi to them. Thank you, Sue, for being on the panel. Thank you, Linda. And for all of you that will be back next week, don't forget we'll be going through Top Producer, and we need to go over Module 7 for next week. So we have our discussion group.
Awesome. So, you guys rock. Isn't that the best product ever?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Until next week, we'll see you all then. Have a great week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.